The name says it all. I'm Hakeem Branch.
Roger.
And today we're going to recap this past Saturday's Showtime card, in which we had Jermell Charlo defending his title against Charles Hatley. And we also had Shawn Porter versus Andre Berto in a fight to become the mandatory for Keith Thurman's title. Also on that card, we had Amanda Serrano becoming the first Puerto Rican fighter to win a title in 5 weight classes. We did mention that one in our preview video. We didn't really break it down, but we told you to watch out for it. And I hope you did see it, because it was a thing of beauty. And that woman needs her props. I mean, the way she counters people in combination and just broke this poor girl down who was much bigger than her, didn't make the weight for the fight, and was still beat down into submission. I'm telling you, it's impressive and you need to see it. That's all I'm going to say about that. Rob is going to take it away with Jermell Charlo versus Charles Hatley. Go.
This went about as good as it could have gone, and about how we said it was. We knew that Charles Hatley was not active at all. That happens being under Don King Promotions. He hadn't fought in about 17 months, and his last fight was Anthony Mundine. And he'd been angling to get that championship fight. You know, he waited for one of the Charlos versus J-Rock, Julian Williams. Then he waited for after John Jackson. So he's just standing there in line. It's like, I wish I could go ahead and fight. That proved to be a mistake, because you could tell that he was very rusty.
Oh yeah, he looked lost the entire time.
And that not only comes from a guy just outboxing you and pretty much beating you to the punch, landing much more precise punches, especially out of his southpaw stance, which is more of a defensive stance for him. And he got knocked out in the orthodox stance, if I'm not mistaken.
I think he fought most of the fight. I don't really remember him going southpaw in the fight. I think he fought orthodox the whole time.
Which is kind of weird, but I guess he really wanted to go at him. I just don't know what he was doing in there. I mean, he fought as good as he could in there, but not against a guy who is as accurate, who's as big, strong, athletic, and for all intents and purposes, more active. You know, I think he only fought one time against John Jackson in 2016.
Yeah, but he's still in the gym working, and still in the gym working with some killers.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got his twin brother. Even though they have separate trainers, they are still in camp working together.
Then you have Errol Spence, who I believe is in that same.
Yeah, Errol Spence. He is now with Errol Spence's trainer. So he's sparring with Errol Spence.
And I think, if I'm not mistaken, Irslan and Laura fights out of the same gym.
No, he's with Jamal, with Ronnie Shields.
But he is familiar with both brothers as well.
Yes, he has sparred with Irslan and Laura.
So you're talking about the top 10 guys at the very least that are around you, that you have to work out with, to spar with, to talk with. Yeah. And a guy in Hatley, who was out of Dallas, and this was an in-state rivalry, by the way. He's from Dallas.
Charles is from Houston, I believe.
Yeah, so that just added to the animosity.
Yes, and because of all the talk from Hatley and Charlo between each other, and I think Hatley jumped in the ring when Jamal won a fight, thinking that that was the person he was going to the mandatory of when it was Jermell. I'm not going to go into that. The fight. One of the things that Jermell said he worked on post-fight was with his brother Jamal sitting down on his punches. Because like if you watch our preview video, which will be at the little card at the top, hit the little eye, you can see that. Watch what we said, compare it to what happened in the fight, and see the recap. Rob said that one of the things about Jermell Charlo was that he didn't knock people out the way Jamal Charlo did.
Even though he does get knockouts, he knocked out John Jackson in his last fight.
Yeah, and he knocked out a few other. He has knockouts, but they're just not with the same viciousness, veracity, and frequency of his brother Jamal.
Yeah.
Well, that changed this night, because he put it on Hatley, and he put it on him behind a hard, straight right hand, behind a ramrod jab that Hatley had no answers for at all. I mean, anytime Charlo put together more than one jab, he froze Hatley. He was able to hook behind it. He caught Hatley with that counter uppercut that Jamal caught Julian Williams with, it didn't put him down, but that exchange in the final round, the 6th round, where they're trading punches, he takes an angle on him and unleashes a picture-perfect right hand. Everything that you teach a person to do in the gym, snapping at the shoulder, putting your hips into it, driving through your feet, turning that hand as it comes forward, and you could see the look on Hatley's face in the replay. He was like, there is nothing I can do about what's about to happen to me.
Yeah.
And this sucks.
And the good thing is Charlo saw it, we saw it, and he took full advantage of the opening that he was left.
Right. A lot of people would not have taken that punch. They would have just gotten out of there and reset and went back to work. But he was like, opening, take it, fight over. I mean, Hatley was out. And you don't really see that from Jermell Charlo. You see him get like technical stoppages. He'll hurt a guy and then finish him with some good accurate shots. But there was no like, boom, oh, I don't need to count anymore.
And if you need to see that replay, it is on our Instagram page. It's the second to last post that we had, and it is vicious.
Yeah, I think it's on our Twitter feed as well as Facebook. They're everywhere. We're everywhere on social media, so you should follow that. You can see the things that we're talking about, the things that we point out in our videos on there as well. Because unfortunately, I'm not the technical guy. I don't know how to put together the little videos and all that stuff. Oh well. But I can paint the picture so you can see what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. So that's why you get me doing it here. Anyway, we now have kind of a log jam at the top of the 154-pound division because you have Andre with the belt, you have Lara with the belt, you have Charlo with the belt, and you have Jarrett Hurd with the belt. And I'm not sure how the Charlo and Lara situation will work out because they used to train together. I don't know if they'll fight. Andre has been talking some stuff. Hurd hasn't really been talking too much from what I've seen, but I think he wants to fight these guys. So we don't know what's going to happen. Each of these guys have mandatories. We just have to wait for all of that to play out and find out who fights who. What you got?
Of course, like anyone else, I'm going to bring up who there is to fight in the rankings.
Yes. So while he does that...
Yep, already got it.
Look at that, smartphone.
So we got Charlo, Lara, Hurd, and Alvarez. One of these...
Alvarez still has the belt?
No, he dropped it, and if I'm not mistaken, Colque, sometimes they don't update it as well as they should.
Andre just beat Colque, and I think that was to become Canelo's mandatory. Canelo dropped the belt, so Andre was upgraded to full, regular, whatever the WB. No, I'm not. I'm thinking about the WBA. This is the WBO. They don't do all that crazy stuff. I think he's just upgraded to full champion now.
Okay, give me a second. I'm still kind of doing my thing. But if we're looking at people to fight, there are plenty of people to fight. You have
besides the title holders,
Mikhail Soro, who it's always there.
He just got a knockout this past weekend.
Yeah, so he's always there. That would be a tough fight for anyone because he hits hard. You have Matarosian, Trout is still hanging around. Liam Smith won his last fight.
Yeah, that was week before last, right?
Yes. You have Julian Williams. You still have a tough Jack Colque. Then you have Erickson Lubin,
he'll be challenging for a title soon as well. He's pretty damn good.
You have Tony Harrison's going to hang around. Yoshihiro Kamiga, who I actually think is fighting Cotto. They're trying to make that fight.
I would love to see that fight.
You have Cotto, who I believe is moving back down to 154 pounds.
Yes.
And Justin DeLoach, who I am particularly high on because I think he's a very good fighter. He had one loss early in his career, and he took the tough way back.
Yes.
And he has been passing with flying colors the whole way up.
Yeah, so there are fighters to fight in this division. Then you got guys who might move up. Maybe Spence or Brook may move up. You got Porter Thurman, they may move up after a while. Garcia. There are guys in the lower division that can come up. I doubt that any middleweights will come back down. But there's a plethora of fighters that you can see these guys fight, and there'll be good fights. Main event, we had Shawn Showtime Porter versus Andre Berto in a fight that, like we said, would the winner will become the mandatory to Keith Thurman's WBA title, a title that Shawn Porter had previously held, and Berto was looking to get back into the title picture. He hadn't fought since beating Victor Ortiz, and that was like a year ago. And then Shawn Porter hadn't fought in about a year as well, a little bit over a year, when he lost to Keith Thurman.
And it's funny because Porter had been demanding fights. See, their camp is not a group that likes to stay inactive. They want to fight at least twice a year.
Yeah, unfortunately it didn't happen for them, but they did get this fight with Berto. And what we were thinking was that the pressure of Porter would eventually wear Berto down to the point that he'd be able to get a decision. We didn't think he would completely break Berto. We were incorrect on that, because that is what happened. The short story of it is that Andre Berto was trying to win a sporting contest, and Shawn Porter was trying to win a fight. To break that down, when the action happened, we know how Shawn Porter works. He likes to get inside, he likes to bang you, he likes to muscle you, and work that way. Berto likes to counter people. He's a little more, I guess, of a cutie, they would say in there. He likes to pot shot. He likes to kind of move subtly, not a whole lot. He's not like a Keith Thurman type of mover or a Floyd Mayweather.
Right.
But he will move just enough to get the punches he wants off. Porter wanted no parts of that. He was in his chest all night, and there was nothing Berto could do about it. He tried, but Porter would not be denied. So he was able to work the body a lot. He was able to muscle him against the ropes and then reel off a lot of combinations. And Berto was trying to hold him, but was not having a lot of success. That's something we mentioned in our Lomachenko recap, how he doesn't allow people to hold him either. Neither did Usyk or Gvozdyk.
Right.
You're starting to see guys really begin to work on the inside again. And I like that, because the martial art and the sport of boxing is much more multifaceted than two guys standing right in front of each other trying to punch each other. It gets kind of murky sometimes, and this was a prime example of it. Before I go into more points, what you got?
I really liked how Porter actually established working on it inside, getting to the inside with his jab instead of just lunging in. Granted, he still lunged in, and he usually gets that deceptive extension where he, like, you don't think he's gonna reach because he's so short, and the punch gets there.
Yeah, and that's because he has extremely broad shoulders and long arms. So you're like, oh, he's not that close to me. And all of a sudden, bam, you're getting hit with a hook, and you're like, how the hell did that happen? He's very explosive. Like I said, he has a very large frame, and he uses that to his advantage to get to people when they don't think he can get to you.
Especially mixed with that explosiveness he has.
Yeah.
And not only that, working on the inside was a placement of his shots. Granted, he'll hit everything, everywhere on you,
and he will hit you with everything in there. And it's not even purposeful, but because he just wants to get to you so bad, he hit Andre Berto with everything, and I think I saw a kitchen sink in there too. I mean, he would do a hook and come into an elbow. He would forearm trying to hook and just miss and end up forearming him. Of course, there was the heads colliding a lot.
They both had cuts.
Yeah, they were both cut. And when you got guys working on the inside like that, it is bound to happen, especially someone as ferocious as Porter. You see it happen a lot with like Tim Bradley. They talked about it with Holyfield. There are a lot of guys that they want to get in there. Salido. They want to get in there. They want to work, and they want to also smother what you're doing, and that's what tends to happen. If you don't want it to happen, you have to stop it from happening, as like Lomachenko did against Jason Sosa. He wanted to work on the inside when he wanted to, and he didn't want him to be held, so he stopped him from doing it.
That's right.
Now, unfortunately for Berto, he was physically unable to do that. So Porter was able to impose his will, break Berto down, and I would say probably by like the fourth round, Berto kind of wanted out.
Yeah, but he was completely fighting on heart at that point because they really could have stopped this early in the fight.
Yeah, he was dropped in the second round, and there was one where they got their feet tied up.
Right.
But you could tell his legs were kind of gone from maybe like the 4th or 5th round on. And I don't know why he may have prepared for a fight like this. He just probably didn't think it'd be that rough.
Right.
Because he was trying to use whatever game plan they had, but Porter was just so relentless and so focused on using his plan, probably because they knew what Berto's plan was going to be, so they had the adjustments in place to negate Berto from executing that game plan successfully. And you have to credit his team with that, for having that game plan in place, and him for being able to execute it. I know a lot of people are going to be upset about the clashes of heads and the forearms and the elbows, but like I said, if you don't like it, you got to stop it. Don't rely on the ref to stop it, because even if you are relying on the ref and he says something about it, the damage is already done after they do it. And you don't want to be cut from a headbutt. You don't want to be hit with elbows. You don't want to be hit with forearms. You don't want to be muscled around. So you have to stop it beforehand.
That's right.
Because once you're cut, you're cut. The referee can take a point, he can warn him, but you're still cut. You're still buzzed from that headbutt. And that's a place you don't want to be in, because that's going to weaken you. It's going to compromise your ability to do what it is you want to do, which is win the fight. Unfortunately for Berto, that's how this one worked out for him. You got anything else?
Nope.
All right, that's it. We'll see if Keith Thurman and Shawn Porter do it again, or if they have some type of other fight. I know Thurman really wants that Pacquiao fight, and I don't blame him. So we'll see how that plays out. Pacquiao has to fight Jeff Horn in July, so maybe that fight happens in November, and if not, then we get the Porter rematch. So we got a long time between the cup, a long way between the cup and the lip, as they say. So thanks for watching this video, guys. Leave your thoughts on the fight below. Make sure you like this video, share it with your friends, bring them in for the discussion. Subscribe if you haven't done so. Click the bell icon so you get all of our updates. And we'll see you next time for our Anthony Joshua, Vladimir Klitschko preview. Until then, fight on.
This is round one and you've already lost. They don't seem to see that everything we've done is coming and cost. My fists are on fire, I perform till I perspire. My demons are in a rage, keep thinking that it's a game. I kick rhyme, hurricane, I told them I don't play, I'm liquid.
Black Street Fighter.